I wish I were dead.
How you doing, killer?
I wish I were dead.
Yeah, rough night for me too.
Hello, World Wide Web. I'm Joker Shadow, the internet personality with the best sense of humor. Take, for instance, the recent passing of longtime Batman voice actor Kevin Conroy. No, that's not funny. But it's absolutely hilarious to see content creators scramble to put out videos and statements to honor the former Batman. Much as he was fantastic at what he did and deserves recognition, we all know it's just to get a few more clicks of ad revenue off of the old man's legacy. Such as I am doing today with a review of Batman Beyond: Return of the Joker. This is a straight-to-video animated movie released way back in 2000. What's it about? Well, it says it right on the tin. This is Batman Beyond, a crazy sci-fi future Gotham City where dear old Brucey has grown old and decrepit. So he has a new lackey to take the role of Batman and fight crime, which runs into a bit of a snag when the Joker returns. In the flesh and in the future. So, let's fire up Batman Beyond: Return of the Joker and see if the old man can even do anything about it. Well, first of all, Gotham City looks like Mega City 1, as this story takes place all the way in the year 2039. And I'm sure that will all be whipped up in the 17 years they have left to do it. This future vision is making me almost as nostalgic as the 4:3 aspect ratio. Starting off with a bang, Wolf, the Hyena Man, played by Frank Welker, breaks into Gotham shipping along with more of the Jokers. Ghoul, played by Michael Rosenbaum, Chucko, played by Don Harvey, and the Dee-Dees, both played by Melissa Joan Hart, and dear old Bonk, played by Henry Rollins. They're here to steal some heavy equipment, which unfortunately gets the attention of a certain spandex-bedecked buzzkill.
It's a school night, boys and girls. I'm gonna have to call your folks.
The Batman of the future. He's snarky, he's scrawny, and he's played by Will Friedle, who I personally recognize from My Little Pony as the voice of Glitter Cupcake. Sadly, this new generation just doesn't have the gusto to deal with even an inexperienced Batfake, and the ensuing chaos merely works as a means to establish both the Batman is tricked out with all kinds of wonderful toys, thanks in no small part to the super technology of future Gotham, but the poor Jokers are woefully ineffective. I mean, the Dee-Dees do manage to get the upper hand and kick that pointy-eared punching bag around for a while, but he's relentless, and that fool Bonk releases his craft from the rather heavy item they were stealing. One thing leads to another, and Chucko is left to try and salvage what little he can from it before the inevitable happens. Kids these days can't commit the slightest larceny without it blowing up in their faces.
That ain't coming out of my allowance.
And here's a fine joke for you. This opening credits sequence here was supposed to be set to the Batman running around Gotham, Batmaning here, Batmaning there, doing all kinds of Batman things. But they ran into a bit of a snag when the animation budget came up a little short, so instead we get a lovely black screen. Real top operation you're running here, Dubs. Excuse me, how? That kid was like 10 when this movie came out. Oh, excuse me, I forgot to carry the H. Continuing our tale, we are brought to the Batcave, where the real Batman still resides, old Bruce Wayne, played by Kevin Conroy. He and the Bat-Hound, Ace, played by Frank Welker, are approached by Neo-Batman, Terry McGinnis, who wonders why the Jokers seem to be upping their game from the usual petty muggings they're known for to jacking high-tech machinery.
They're probably fencing it. Corporate espionage is big business.
Yeah, well, so's healthcare, and I don't see the Jokers building emergency rooms. They're too busy filling them. It's probably not important enough to talk about anymore anyway. The big news is that Bruce Wayne is coming out of retirement to return as acting CEO of Wayne Enterprises, much to the dismay of the former next in line, Jordan Price, played by Mark Hamill.
The day-to-day rigors of running a vast multinational conglomerate would be stressful, even for a young man. I hope Mr. Wayne is up to the challenge.
He's not bitter.
Is he though? I thought everyone in this town wanted to see Wayne finally get his comeuppance. Am I crazy? They aren't too worried that this will be more than Brucey can handle. After all, he's got decades of experience burning the candle at both ends. Unlike our young Mr. McGinnis over here, who can't even keep his eyes open on the dance floor with his sweetheart, Dana, played by Lauren Tom. But while the Batman sleeps, something is stirring at the old Jolly Jack candy factory. Something funny.
Losers. All of you. A disgrace to the name Joker.
The Joker in the flesh, played by Mark Hamill, showing up at the 12-minute mark, which is actually a lot later than it sounds when you consider the movie's only about an hour long. Bonk doesn't care for this treatment, it seems, and even questions whether the Joker has a plan or not.
I want out. If you insist.
Failing to take into account that the Joker always carries a spare firearm just in case.
I was just kidding.
So was I.
You think I'd pull a gun out for a silly joke in a YouTube video? In this day and age, it's not really a gun.
Oops. No, I wasn't.
It's really a knife. On that note, it's about time to mention that there's actually 2 different cuts of this movie, with certain changes between the two. The original release is a nice, clean, family-friendly PG, while this here is the oh-so-scandalous PG-13. And that means some things are a little funnier.
We're with you.
Boys.
We're with you.
Bonk. Oh, right. Dead.
But if you remember the PG cut, Bonk never died in that version. He and the old Joker just had a good old laugh together. And then Bonk just never showed up again for the rest of the movie. The body count rising helps ensure that Joker's got the rest of the gang on board, but they still need to get that high-tech thingy they failed to steal in the opening. Not to worry, future Gotham has plenty, but only one is really worth coming out of retirement for.
Security's gonna be tight.
Oh, yes. But think of the fun.
And even more than that, that much XP will be worth quite a few upgrade tokens. Especially as the event in question is the ball celebrating Wayne's return as CEO.
Everyone is here. Well, everyone except Mr. Price, unfortunately.
That's no surprise.
But you gotta keep his role in everything mysterious, and the easiest way to do that is just to keep him in the back. Especially as things are really heating up. Brucey's little speech is interrupted by technical difficulties, and his security forces are asleep on the job. Too bad, too, as they missed the big reveal.
Can't be. Oh no, your old eyes do not deceive you, Brucey. After all, who know me better than you?
Holly knows a thing or two outside of Bruce's wheelhouse. And then she ran off to pursue a plant-based diet.
The new boy. Ears are too long and I missed the cape, but not too shabby. Not too shabby at all.
Now, the old Batman kept all his tools conveniently in a belt, and now they're just woven into the whole suit and happen to be whatever's convenient for the plot at the time. This little distraction is all the Joker needs for his goons to finish picking up the considerably smaller and easier to carry version of that big honkin' thing in the opening. So, hopping into a spare Jolly Jack escape clown car, a few explosions and falling civilians help to keep the Batman busy while the Joker escapes. This has shaken up the old man, who refuses to tell anything to his young protege. Undeterred, Terry tracks down Barbara Gordon, played by Angie Harmon, and she tells him to drop the subject just the same. Seems they've been keeping the new Bat in the dark this whole time.
It's funny. I know about all your other major enemies, but you never mention him.
Terry, you were standing next to a giant Joker playing card. I don't really think it's his fault that you were in the dark this long. At least until this point, where Bruce is very keen on refusing to explain his position, his fear, and in fact, doesn't even want Terry to be Batman anymore, saying he's avenged his father, he doesn't have to, and therefore he shouldn't. Terry disagrees, though.
Every time I put on that suit, it's my chance to help people who are in trouble. I guess on a personal level, it's a chance to look like a worthwhile human being again.
Oh, you look like a toddler in their jammy jams. It's no wonder you only ever go out at night. Who'd want to be seen in public dressed like that? Brucey fires him all the same, which manages to give the lad enough free time to showcase his family members. Little brother Matt, played by Ryan O'Donoghue, and their mother Mary, played by Terry Garr. Family dynamics are great, but the real bonus is that we get more scenes with Terry and Dana.
The bad news is, for the time being, I'm not gonna have much money coming in. The good news is, you have me all to yourself.
Boy's about to learn real quick how much that first part matters. But sadly, that day will not be today. The Jokers are swooping in, grabbing Dana right around the same time the Joker swoops in going for the real treasure. But we're going to have to leave that little spat off screen as Terry breaks into one of those little action scenes that kids these days can't get enough of, saving Dana from the Jokers before knocking over the club's enormous lava lamp, washing that problem away. So Dana is taken to the hospital, and Terry's heading back to the Batcave. It would seem that relieving him of his duties did nothing to keep Terry safe, but at the very least, he's doing better than Bruce is. Stricken with the Joker toxin, ready to laugh himself to death. Not at all unlike taking some medication and then putting on a playlist of CS188 videos. Unfortunately, the old bat just so happened to craft some handy-dandy Joker anti-toxin, just in case, and is on the road to recovery. But while he is bedridden, that does mean that Mr. Price is still acting CEO for the time being.
Not every creep in Gotham wears a purple suit.
It'd make my job simpler if they did.
I do believe this shade is closer to eminence, thank you very much. And I don't get the attitude. I haven't done anything to warrant such disdain. I'm a good boy. I have been doing so well, I think personally. You should all like this video right now. And if you haven't, subscribe. I mean, you wouldn't want to miss the chance to do that and have something happen later, would you? Considering the Batcave was attacked directly, and Terry was attacked without even needing that silly outfit, it would appear that he's in it whether they like it or not. With that in mind, Barbara proceeds to spill the beans on the unspoken history of the Joker, and why they're oh so sure that the new guy can't be it. Going all the way back to Batman the Animated Series, we're at the point where Dick Grayson finally got tired of Bruce, and so the crafty old man snatched up another kiddo to throw in a pair of tights, Tim Drake, played by Matthew Valencia. Not that the child needed much convincing, he loved playing dress-up and fighting crime.
That evens things up a little.
Not really, bird boy.
A weakness to be exploited for sure, as the woman he rescued in the nick of time just so happened to be the original and still the best Harley Quinn, played by Arlene Sorkin, who has continued to play the role in oh so many cartoons and video games. This put Tim right into the clutches of yours truly, the Joker, but the Bats were doing their best to find him.
Night after night, we scoured the city, running down every lead.
Oh yes, Barbara, check with the local prostitutes. It's no wonder people think that Batman is the greatest detective alive with him standing next to you. Weeks later, and the Bats still haven't figured it out, so little clue was left for them to check that big, always important asylum they've got in Gotham. Oh sure, it's out of commission, broken down, but still the perfect place for a reunion, wouldn't you say? But while the Batman came through the front door properly, that girl hid in the shadows. Oh, but what's behind the curtain?
No peeking.
And I will give the Batman this much. He is a professional. He knows you do not interrupt the supervillain when he's about to spill all the beans to the audience. So what's the insidious inspiration for this scheme? Why, that bothersome mortality, of course, and the need to pass the torch to a whole new generation of troublemakers.
But rather than go through all the joy of childbirth, we decided to adopt.
We couldn't do it legally, but then we remembered you always had a few spare kids hanging around.
As you might have guessed, the Joker has a penchant for all things green and would not pass up the opportunity to recycle. So where is Robin? Torn down and metamorphosized into dear little JJ. But you can't please everyone, and the Batman attacks Joker, resulting in a chase while Batgirl flies in to fight Harley over the fate of the little one, played by Andrea Romano. The fight spills outside into the rainy night, and a few bazooka shots later, they're both falling down a perilous pit. Only Batgirl can save them. Oh, sure, the bats don't kill, they're just selectively bad at rescuing people every now and again. The Batman looks confused at this point, probably wondering how it all came to this, so Joker explains it. Every single gruesome detail. It's amazing just what you can accomplish with but a few thousand volts of electricity. Not only did the kid mold into quite the successful Joker Jr., but he spilled all the Batman's secrets. How he's Bruce Wayne, a pathetic, broken man playing dress-up because he can't get over his dead parents.
It'd be funny if it weren't so pathetic. No, what the heck, I'll laugh anyway.
I mean, come on, Bruce. I've lost both my parents, grandparents, extended family, friends, and more, and I can still manage to put a smile on my face. This pushes the Batman over the edge, attacking Joker relentlessly. Oh, wait, scratch that. He still doesn't have the gusto to actually finish the job. Unlike the Joker over here, killing is perfectly within reason for the unreasonable. And what better way to prove that Robin has completely turned than to let dear little JJ be the one to take Bruce's life?
That's not funny. That's not...
Another scene that was changed in the PG cut of the movie. In this one, the Joker is shot and dies on screen. But in the censored version, JJ never shoots him, he just gives him a little push into some water and a bundle of wires, and then he slips and flips a switch, and then it screams of agony as electricity fries him to death off screen. Which is arguably even more disturbing. After this, Tim was back to normal. After a few years of therapy, and the little dysfunctional Bat family finally broke up. Don't say the Joker never did a good deed in his life.
I'm assuming his girlfriend bought it too.
We never found her body, but I doubt she'd be starting trouble now.
Granted, but bad guys don't just flicker out of existence for convenient cleanup. So that's the story. The Joker's dead. Tim quit being Robin and became a communications engineer. No leads. Or are there? Terry figures Tim is at least worth questioning, but Tim, played by Dean Stockwell, swears he's got nothing to do with anything. Tim learned about the attack on the news just like everyone else. Besides, he has no motive, no ill wishes for Bruce whatsoever.
Bruce probably did me a favor. In the end, I was so sick of it I never wanted to see that stupid Robin suit again.
Though that likely has less to do with the working conditions and more with the gaudy tights and Speedo. Drake ruled out there's one more lead on the Bat radar, Mr. Price. He's living up his position on the company yacht, but who he thought was his companion for the night turned out to be the Jokers, as he did make a deal with them to take out Wayne in exchange for the parts. But there's a little thing about dealing with the big clown in town that he didn't remember to take into account.
The big guy who originally put us all in contact has decided you're a loose end.
And loose ends should be tied up.
Well, the good news is this clears his name. Sadly, though, the Batman is right there and manages to fly Price to safety before the latest toy can fully fire up. A satellite laser that annihilates the yacht. Certainly, her Price was really the only one on that thing. He's happy to have Batman around, up until the Bat drops him off in front of the police and presents the recording of Price admitting to that assassination attempt against Bruce.
I want my lawyer.
I think the commissioner'd like to hear this too. Night.
Ah yes, the salute! More than a little odd considering Batman isn't exactly popular with the police in Batman Beyond. What are the odds he just happened to run into the one badge who's a big fan? But with Price ruled out, that leaves Terry with absolutely no leads, which means it's time for it all to start to click together. The ransacked Batcave was smashed up, but the Robin costume was the one that got it the worst. Assuming that it is Tim Drake, if we take all the stolen gear and make something that a communications engineer would know how to use...
Satellite jamming system. Whoever uses this can access satellite defense systems and fire them at will.
And if Saints Row has taught me anything, it pays to be the head of a gang with orbital strike capabilities. Now that Tim has shot back up the prime suspect, Terry takes to the skies. He brings the doggy along too, as Ace loves going on rides. But when it comes time to confront the traitor...
Don't pretend you didn't hear me.
Hologram. Oh, what did you expect, Batsy? Dean Stockwell did play Al on Quantum Leap. Though you're probably too young for that. This is a classic laser trap, giving the Joker the chance to congratulate Batman on a job well done. Tim works for Joker, and he's got a satellite laser ready to protect Gotham City EDF style. Obviously a problem for Batman, who deftly escapes the laser death trap before remembering that maybe he should Google the location of Jolly Jack, that old candy factory emblazoned on the side of Joker's getaway vehicle days ago. But Joker can't just let him have a leisurely ride to his destination. Besides, they've got the actual animator of the orbital laser scene from Acura, and need to answer what, if they didn't have an opening credits animation, did the budget get dumped into?
Yeah, I know.
We'll just assume that stretch of Gotham was conveniently evacuated. Unable to handle the fun, Joker cuts the call short, and the laser disengages. That means Batman can make it to Jolly Jack. Oh, but there's still those pesky Jokers to deal with. Not to worry, barely any movie left. Choco can get knocked down by the Batmobile, Ace can take out Wolf, Batman can knock out Ghoul, and the DDs can just take each other out. But upon entering the factory, seems that Joker is nowhere to be found. Just Tim Drake.
Joker's gone. I don't know where he is, really.
The suit sensors aren't picking up any pulse fluctuations. He's telling the truth.
I don't think that suit function has ever come up before now. Or ever comes up again. But it sure was convenient, wasn't it? Tim might be honest, but he's not exactly stable, still unable to get over having killed the Joker, haunted by the idea that being a killer makes him just the same as the Joker. Which is just silly. That won't make him like the Joker. However, throwing a stun lock on Batman before shortly transforming into the Joker, yeah, that'll do it. It's a good thing Batman's stunned too, because that gives the Joker plenty of time to explain everything. Yet again, you see.
Utilizing cutting-edge genetics technology, which I had pinched here and there, I encoded my DNA on a microchip.
Hey, if the Batman can pull whatever is convenient for the plot out of his not-utility belt, the Joker can do the same. Said chip was implanted right into Tim Drake, and over the years, Joker has grown more and more powerful inside him, and is just about ready to take complete control. This calls for a celebration! Lasers for everyone! The girlfriend, the family, Wayne Manor, doesn't matter. The giant death laser will take them all out in no time. Nothing can stop him now. I mean, unless the dog just runs in, distracting the Joker, resulting in a scuffle where the Joy Buzzer fries the equipment, setting it off prematurely and completely out of control.
Oh, good. The beam's headed here. Now I'll have to start all over again. Thanks for wrecking everything, kid. See you around.
And we'll just assume that this line of buildings in the way to Jolly Jack has been conveniently evacuated just minutes ago. But Batman isn't planning on going anywhere and begins to fight the Joker. However, a combination of the fact that the Joker is Tim Drake, trained in the Batman fighting styles, and the animation choreography is pretty impressive, means that Batman can't just pound the clown into confetti. But Terry is a sharp one, and tries an angle the Joker has never had to contend with before. A Batman who won't shut up.
So you fell in a tank of acid, got your skin bleached, then decided to become a supervillain. What? You couldn't get work as a rodeo clown?
Oh no, but I did have a brief spat as a Calvin Klein model. Eventually, the laughing and taunting pushed Joker over the edge, and he attacks recklessly, putting his guard down just long enough for the Batman to turn the joy buzzer on the Joker, frying away the microchip, killing the Joker, but leaving Tim Drake intact. So now it's just time to wrap up loose ends. The satellite laser destroys the controls, shutting itself down and flying off into space, just for good measure. And even the DDs don't spend too much time behind bars, having their grandmother pay bail.
Ow! Break a grandmother's heart! I hope they throw the book at you!
Oh, shut up, Nana Harley.
They're always finding new ways to get rid of the Joker, and yet Harley just keeps going. And of course, Tim is recovering just fine now that his Joker chip has been destroyed. Bruce has even shown up to give support and restore lost ties, but before he does, there's one last thing he has to tell Terry.
It's not Batman that makes you worthwhile. It's the other way around. Never tell yourself anything different.
And that is why people are mourning their favorite comic book hero. With the loss of Kevin Conroy, it wasn't just him that passed. It was the Batman. His Batman. Rest in peace. On a lighter note, that was Batman Beyond, Return of the Joker. And oh, it was a barrel of laughs. Batman Beyond was such a fun take on Batman, thrown so far in the future that Gotham is nigh unrecognizable, and all the old guard have moved on in one way or another, leading to new tales that don't get bogged down on the same old Batman formula. And the one chance they have to make a movie, they make it all about the Joker. But as it's such a departure from the norm in Batman Beyond, the mystery of the tale is not just what exactly the Joker plans to do, but just how the clown returned in the first place. But that's not all. On top of that, Terry is kept in the dark about the past, and it becomes another mystery stacked on the rest. What was the fate of the Joker, and why is Bruce so sure he's dead? Now, while I can gush all day about the movie's high points, we must acknowledge that it is certainly far from perfect. A straight-to-video movie of a kid's Saturday morning cartoon. While it has some great moments in animation, most of it is par for the course at best. And don't forget the opening credits. I can tell you being a plain black screen makes it feel a lot longer than it is. Strangely, you could say that about the entire movie, and not in a bad way. At merely an hour long, it feels much meatier than it is, jam-packed with important dialogue and meaningful events, left and right. Something is always happening, and it matters. When it's all said and done, Batman Beyond, Return of the Joker is a must-see for fans of the series, and I dare say that it's worth checking out even for the uninitiated. Rough edges pop up here and there, but it mostly comes together at the end, coming in at 4 bumbling henchmen out of 5. And it was nice to see how Terry McGinnis showed everyone that you could be Batman and you didn't have to be Bruce Wayne to do it. Up until they established he was a clone of the guy and ruined it. But thank you all for watching. I have been Joker Shadow, and remember, I'm only laughing on the outside. My smile is only skin deep. If you could see inside, I'm crying. Perhaps you'll join me for a weep.
If you don't like the movie, I've got slides.
A wonderful show if I do say so myself. Very much worth a like. Hint, hint. And if it's a zany Batman animated cartoon movies you are interested in, well, you are in luck. I happen to review Batman Ninja. It's exactly what it sounds like. Trust me, you won't be disappointed. But you could always choose the algorithmically selected recommended video. If you are just safe about your choices, you don't grow.